Hey everyone, this is Rach Shelkey, co-host of the podcast Plus One Forward, a podcast powered by the apocalypse. Given the subject matter of our show, I'm going to focus my indie RPG discussion on powered by the apocalypse games. The indie RPG that continues to capture my imagination is Escape from Dino Island by Sam Tung and Sam Roberts. Escape from Dino Island was released in 2019, although given the strangeness of the last few years, it's understandable that you may have missed it. Designed as a one or two shot game, it maximizes PBTA's strengths for character-focused storytelling. This includes new mechanics that ask players probing questions about their PC's background and motivations.
Hello everyone, this is Thomas Manuel, writer of the Indie RPG newsletter and game designer from Chennai, India. Crashcart is a Forged in the Dark game that uses cards instead of dice. It's like a very cool mechanical change. It's a game about EMTs, like EMTs in a kind of like near future dystopia where healthcare has been completely privatized, and what you do every kind of session, it's a one-shot game, and what you do kind of every session is you go out to a patient who needs you and you get the patient and then you take them to the hospital that they're supposed to go to, and that's it. Like that's the mission every time, and it's super neat. Like I think cards change the game in a very interesting way, in a very kind of like fun way, while still like very clearly being Forged in the Dark. I recommend everyone kind of check that out, and I'm very excited to see games inspired by these three Forged in the Dark designs coming in the future.
Hi, I'm John Starshine Greenall. I'm a writer, TTRPG creator, and general internet fool. Green Skies by Small Red Robin 13 is a game that's been stuck in my head ever since I first read it. The game casts you as an eco-friendly house that has to look after its occupants and the world around it. It is a beautiful example of how well thought out rules and small linguistic flourishes can create a sense of tone and place. It is also a delightfully casual take on solo journaling mechanics, making it something that can be dipped in and out of whenever the player gets a free moment. In fact, you could keep working on the one journal for months, maybe even years, continually building this story.
Hi, my name is Sharang Biswas, and I'm a game designer, writer, artist, and professor of games. This year, I played a short campaign of the role-playing game Brindlewood Bay by Jason Cordova. It came out really recently, and I really love the game because it's, the theme is really cool. You are crime-solving grandmas in small-town Massachusetts, in America. And it has all these really cozy elements where you get to indulge in your, like, favorite, like, grandma activity with your friends at home, but you also solve these, like, small-town mysteries. But at the same time, as you play the campaign, there's this undercurrent of a cosmic horror mystery going on that's really good. And the game, the way to solve mysteries is neither the GM nor the adventurer know what the solution to the mystery is, but you build the solution to the mystery yourself using the clues that you find, and you decide on who the murderer is, for example.
Hey everybody, I'm Nate Magnuski.
And I'm Richard Sullivan.
And we are the host and co-host of the Pot of Blunders.
You know, one game that really caught my eye was Nova by Spencer Campbell and Gila Games. I really like how it emulated almost like a Doom game. When you kill an enemy and they drop their gear and you get to pick it up right away. A very cinematic game. Those are the type of games I like. Very short, to the point, and you can crush it in an hour or two.
Hi, I'm Charlie Etheridge-Nunn from Who Dares Rolls. This year, I think my longest campaign that I've done in several years, and my choice for best game is The Yellow King, specifically Yellow King Paris. This was a game where I loved the setting. I wasn't entirely sure about the system. I've since played the basic Gumshoe, and I really love this boiled down version of it. It keeps everything that you need as far as the investigation side of it, as far as keeping the story moving forward. The combat reads a little shakily. I actually had to run a demo combat myself before doing it in person, but actually to play, it's really good fun. So Yellow King, I know it's a couple of years old now, but it was a real joy to embody that world, that 1890s Paris, between the vast amount of research I ended up doing into that scene, but also the way my players completely embraced being drunk English and American art students in Paris.
Hi, I'm Chris McDowell, and I'm the designer of Electric Bastionland and Into the Odd, and the writer at bastionland.com. The game that has captured my interest this year is called 2400, and it's a series of ultralight sci-fi games by Jason Tocci. 2400 takes a super simple but robust system and applies it to a whole spectrum of lo-fi sci-fi scenarios to explore, each of which fits on a double-sided sheet of A4, and these cover everything from space truckers, cyberpunk, to like transhumanism and time travel. And this is before you even get into the huge list of hacks that exists under the 24XX banner. And the real thing that impresses me is with such a small amount of space, Jason does a really good job of squeezing in flavour and hooks into each iteration of the game to make them feel different, but also give you everything you need to get started straight away on a single piece of paper. And if that sounds good to you, check out 2400 by Jason Tocci.
Hello, my name is Austin Ramsay. My pronouns are he and him. And I am the designer of several tabletop role-playing games, including Beam Saber. You can find my work at austin-ramsay.itch.io. An indie tabletop role-playing game that's caught my interest this year is Extracirriculars by Riley Hopkins. Extracirriculars is a forged-in-the-dark game that flips the usual formula of mission or score and downtime on its head. The main focus of the game is the downtime periods, where the player characters are students enjoying their lives between high excitement sports club experiences in their schools. However, the way that Extracirriculars works is that the downtime between those high-intensity competitions is the focus of the game, and the competitions themselves are glossed over so that the drama between the matches can be more thoroughly explored.
Hi everyone, I'm Josh Fox. I publish games through Black Armada such as Last Fleet and Lovecraft-esque, amongst many others. A game that's caught my attention this year is Stealing the Throne by Nick Bate. It's a heist game with a difference. You're stealing a 1,000-year-old mech. Quite apart from the slight absurdity of stealing a giant robot, I really like the game's simple GM-less structure and rules, but best of all is that it reliably tells a complete story in 2 hours. I was so impressed with it that I wrote a hack of it called Stealing the Stones, where you steal Stonehenge. If you like the sound of Stealing the Throne, you can find it at ickbat.itch.io, and if you really like it, you can join in with the Stealing the Jam game jam, also on itch.
Hello, Dragon Meat. I am Ryan Howard, the creator and host of Rollin' Bones with Ryan Howard, and I am so excited to join you guys for the 2021 edition of What's Hot in Role-Playing Games. So what really grabbed my attention for the entirety of this year was really Dungeon Crawl Classics and its sister game, Mutant Crawl Classics from Goodman Games. For anyone who hasn't had the pleasure, definitely pick up these books. They are hefty tomes. They are gigantic books filled with all kinds of great old school goodness. And anyone who loves OSR games or is unfamiliar with them but really wants a good starting point, I highly recommend Dungeon Crawl Classics. The winds are still blowing in that direction as far as RPGs, so definitely pick up Dungeon Crawl Classics and Mutant Crawl Classics for some great old school role-playing.